There are two ways to reach the foot of the Pidan mountain. First option is a well-traveled tourist can come by train and get to the 74th kilometer and then walk for 3 to 4 hours. But this is not the path that we chose. We are new to such type of tourism, so we will have arrived on a very comfortable buses from one of the travel agencies of the Primorsky Krai, and now we will transfer to smaller vehicles. The mountain is 1,302 meters, and its official name is Mount Lavadinskaya. It's part of the Lavadinsky range of the Sikhota-Ali. Livadia is a region not far from here. The mountain top was renamed in 72 due to a time when the places were renamed from Chinese in the Far East after a conflict on the Damansk island. No one uses the official name, not the locals or tourists or even the tour guides. Everyone just calls it Pidan. We're now at the foot of Pidan. If you translate from Chinese, Pidan means high cliffs, and from ancient Chizerninsk language, this means the rocks that have been placed by God. Some think that Pidan is the highest mountain of the Primorsky Krai, and that is not true. Pidan is actually quite average in height, but it is visually very different. It is very unique. It has unusual terrain. The terrain consists of 3 parts. The first part is quite flat, and that's the biggest part of the mountain, and it's very easy to walk on. The second part is a high rising area, and the third part of the rocks, where Pidan gets its name from. People visit Pidan for a few reasons. One of them is the beauty of the area. But I would say that's actually not the main reason, that's the second reason. The main reason why people come here is because there are many legends at this place, and I'll tell them to you shortly. And also, Pidan is part of the list of the mountains called the Primorsky Bar. If you visit the 10 mountaintops at the list, you will get the award from the Federation of Sport Tourism of Primorsky Krai. Alongside the flat terrain of the mountain, you can see a few small springs with very clean, tasty water. And there is a belief that the water has healing properties. There is a legend that surrounding the spring does not fully freeze during the winter, and the locals believe that under there is a magical lake. If you find a lake and dip in it, you'll become so strong and you will have health of a superhero. Tourists usually just fill up the drinking bottles and drink the water, and many have said they feel better. Maybe it's strength of self-hypnosis or something else, but I do feel better. I have only slept for 3 hours today, so we will see how strong the waters from Pidan are, and if I'll get any energetic or health effects on me. God was looking down to earth and saw 2 Baha'i warriors that were throwing rocks. The warriors could barely find the stones amongst the forest, and due to that, their practice were more of hunting for stones than combat training. One warrior shouted that he will have had so much more practice and become more stronger if the stones were nearby, so he could worship his gods better. God heard him and created stones, took it all in one hand and poured them in a comfortable area. And so many stones managed to fit into the god's hands that the rock hill ended up being the tallest in the surrounding area, and Pidan was created. Pidan also means a place where rocks were placed by God. And this place became sacred. Normal people could not visit this area, only priests could. They brought their sacrifices to gods and talked to them. On the way to the hilltop, we can see many unique places where you can make a wish, and some of them have ethnic backgrounds. Our guide has said that if you tie a ribbon around here, your wish will not come true, because you're just polluting the environment around you. Here you can find a waterfall, and the waterfall's name is the Flame of Dragon. It's called this way because it actually looks like a flame of dragon. The water is rather tall, but you can only see it when there's no leaves. During the winter, when there is snow, or now. And in about 2 weeks, you only see the whole beauty of the waterfall until it freezes. While I'm getting the water, because we are about to start the hottest part of the hike, I'll tell you a legend. The legend states that there is a flying man living in Pidan. And his last spotting was in 2016. He scares tourists by screaming that stay overnight. The last sighting was by tourists, like I said before, in 2016. And you can search for this story online and read up on it. People do believe in this, and many people say they have heard his shrieks. You can even hear and see Arseniev mentioning this creature in his writing. As we all know, Arseniev is not the last person out there in the history of our region. So I somewhat believe this. And I'm a bit scared. So I'm trying to keep with the tourist group. But if we're talking seriously, the main harm on this path are snakes. Tourists are warned about it, to actually look where they're stepping. Big predators usually keep away from the tourist path, but chipmunks, foxes, hedgehogs, squirrels like coming down to the path. Tourists feed them. But we were not very lucky to see them this time. Overall, almost 10,000 people go up Pidan. Our tourist groups start from 2 people to 150 people a time. This weekend, I have a very big group, and last weekend I also had a big group. Pidan is one of the most popular paths. The peak season to visit Pidan is September and October. We provide the services to hiking to Pidan whole year round. The mass group tours start in April, between April to June, when the snow is already away, and groups are usually not that big, up to 20 people at a time. In the autumn, on the other hand, it's very active. There are many legends surrounding the mountain. One of them is a flying man. Do you believe in the flying man? I can tell you one thing. I've been on this hike for more than 120 times, and I have never seen the flying man. I have seen tourists that fly when they trip, but that's not exactly the same thing. Legends have been created to promote the mountain, and I think the person who came up with them is amazing. He managed to promote this area and make money. People have an understanding for these and want to come and see the legends. And also people understand that they're only legends. From the people that I hike with, around 2 to 5% do actually believe in these legends. People also say there's some unique lake under Pidan at the hills that actually heals people. Well, That could be one. But it's not the only place that we can find such underground lakes. If you look all over the world, the underground water reservoirs all over the world. And if there is one like under Pidan, I would not be surprised. There are lakes under pretty much every single mountain. You have to understand, when the want and the belief match, the strength is going to be there. I can guarantee on one thing for you: the energy on this mountain hill is very strong. We don't have to believe in legends, but energy here is noticeable. People come back here not due to legends, but to the need of regenerating themselves and start a new path. The energy helps, and I bet that's what makes wishes come true. I personally have not made any wishes yet, but probably if I'll need a very serious wish, I'll come here and it will come true then. So you haven't come up with your wish yet? I have many wishes. They come true. But they're not wishes for this area, and I have not wished them here. If a wish is connected to action, it always comes true. One such action can be hiking up Pidan. This is not the easiest hike, so we can consider it an action. I have many clients that hike with me up twice a year. Some people have gone up more than 15 times. They hike with me to the mountains, but they keep coming back here saying that Pidan is different than others and doesn't feel the same way. They always want to come back. People feel the energy and it matches them, so they want to keep coming back. I have personally been working here as a tour guide for 13 years. Aren't you bored of hiking up the same hike? I'm not bored of this. I love hiking. I live by hiking, and I live by hiking on Pidan. I love working with people. I don't feel the physical effects anymore due to the experience, and I love being connected to the people in the mountain. The legend states that the mountaintop was surrounded by 24 Primorye stones, and only priests had access to them. And they had to bring a sacrifice here. This is one of the first key areas of energy. Was the sacrifice human? No, the sacrifice was animals, or they would sacrifice their own blood. Now this is a place of rest, and you can take photos here. Here people leave a thank you to the priest with bread or money or some other snacks. The guide has warned us not to leave any big money because that disappears right away, but suggested to leave nuts because they stay for longest. Also, you can make a wish here. That's it. After 3 hours, we're finally at the top. To the strongest of us, Pidan gives beautiful views of the mountains, oceans and forests. People say that Pidan doesn't let everyone up here. But some can't even get up after starting to feel sick right before the mountaintop, so they never get to see this. But our group was able to reach the top. Apart from the mountaintop, you can see the leftover of the helicopter Mi-8. People say it got caught in the electromagnetic anomaly and all the equipment malfunctioned. Now the leftovers were made into a mountain, and everyone who wants to get the Primorsky Bars badge need to take a photo with it. For a while, you were able to find a bicycle here, but a few years ago it was taken down. On an average, a tourist spends up to 30 minutes to an hour up here, and then they will go down before the sundown. We have decided to go at a random with friends and family. My son has adjusted this for a while, and yearly we have been moving our trip. And this year we finally managed to get here and prove ourselves that we can do this. There's a lot of memories and emotions that are amazing. The mood is amazing now, weather is beautiful, people are beautiful. All this is great. Many people here are by far not athletics, with different ages, and we all managed to get here. What's your next trip? Our next trip, Falaza. That trip is a lot easier. We have already been to Voробyi, and we will be visiting that place next. One more question. Have you ever planned to stay overnight and get the Primorsky Bars badge? Well, probably we are more traveling for ourselves, but we will see how it goes. There are photos of it now. Who knows? Do you travel up mountains often? No, up mountains is a very rare thing, but I do hike up Pidan every year. Some years I hike twice a year. Where did this tradition come from? We became friends 20 years ago, and we love visiting Pidan for the environment, river, and also it is a very athletic type of tourism, and it's very beautiful here. We love it because it has an amazing feel and it's very beautiful. What do you think of the hike? It was actually hard, but I do like it. I got sick right before, but because we were hiking in a group and there were almost 80 people of us, it made me unite with everyone, and I managed to get the strength to go up. And I will have only the most positive memories.
Если запинаешься, тебе протягивают руку помощи. Это очень здорово, это поднимает наш корпоративный дух, сплачивает команду, поэтому впечатления только хорошие. Но это пока подъем.
But we'll see how I feel when I get down from the mountain. If you believe in superstitions, you should not take anything from the mountains with you. But if you really want to leave something here while making a wish, make a wish. When making a wish, you need to leave something for the mountain, spirits, and gods, whatever you believe in. It's almost 6 p.m. and we have already managed to reach the bottom of the mountain, and we are all very tired. The peak season is almost over, and this means you can visit this area next week before the snow shows, or around May and end of April, when the snow will finally dissolve.